Welcome to the last of our webinar series. If you came to this webinar through the Design Network, I am Rachel Moriarty, and my co-host Dixie, Designing Dixie, is with me, and we have the Design+Style podcast. So we are welcoming you to the webinar, and we welcome you to join our Facebook group as well. And all of you know the fabulous Jason Harris, founder of the Design Network, co-owner of Furnitureland South, and his lovely assistant, Megan Morrow, who is the head contact of the TDN trade program. So they also have a Facebook group. What is your Facebook group called?
It's the Design Network Designer Community.
Design Network Designer Community. This is the best place if you are part of the TDN trade program to engage, to get any problems resolved and talk to actual staff of the Design Network. We also go in and we show off our mood boards and all the tools that we're using, and share all the new projects, and it's a fun, exciting place. So with that being said, Jason, do you want to we're here to talk about the new eDesign platform that launched last week. It's been in beta for a little bit, and we did a soft launch, and why don't you do a little overview of it?
Yeah, well, we're live, and we're so super excited about that. It's like, I think we spent about 9 months in development, and it was supposed to be like, 4 months, and then it became 5, and then it became whatever. So we finally launched the platform, and we're being very strategic in the way that we're launching it. We're not really going out and blasting it a whole lot yet. Just as we get the designer profiles completed, we have about 53 e-designers on the platform now that have created their packages and gone live on the network. But it's been really fun to see it come together. It is eDesign, which is, everybody knows what that is. It's probably listening to this. It's online interior design. And we've taken a little bit of a different approach to this on the Design Network. We are allowing designers to come into our platform and to create their own packages. They can create up to 3 eDesign packages, and they can price those packages however they want to. And so it's sort of a marketplace for eDesign, and we do put a minimum of $199 for a package. But the designers can come in and create their own packages. They can select their deliverables for each package, and we've built the platform to be really comprehensive, a comprehensive set of tools that really enable this online interior design process to happen with fluidity and really seamlessly with a consumer. And we'll really start to market the platform over the next couple of months. The marketing will really ramp up in October.
So you mean in time for High Point Market?
Well, yeah.
Maybe some fun things happening there?
For sure. Consumers don't really care about it, the High Point Market, but it just happens to kind of align with our marketing efforts. And we have a whole lot of stuff going on as we're also leveraging this amazing designer community into video content. And so we've been producing about 8 new series called TDN TV that we'll be launching in the fall. We're pushing that content out on Roku and Apple TV and on the designnetwork.com and on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. And some really fun, entertaining content. And so wrapping that content is going to be a lot of messaging about eDesign and a real drive and a push into the platform. But what's unique about TDN eDesign is that, again, we have this amazing community of independent interior designers. They come on, they create their own profiles, their own packages. And as consumers come to the platform, they're able to take a style quiz. So we've developed a really fun little style quiz to take, and at the end of that, we sort of serve up what that client's style is, and then we serve up designers that are available to work with them and maybe specialize in that style now, and they can go on and look at that designer's profile, check out their projects, their work, their mood boards that they may have created, and they can select the designer, and they purchase that package right on the network, and then they begin the collaboration process. And the collaboration process is really unique. We've already sort of learned their style from their style quiz, but it starts really with a questionnaire. and the consumer, there's certain information that we want to glean from that consumer. Another cool feature of this is that we have sort of some default questions as part of this questionnaire, but the designer is actually able to go in and create their own questions. So if you can use our questions, or you can set up your own questions. And so these are questions like, what's the scope of your project? What type of budget are you working with? What are some things that inspire you? We give them the ability, and we show them step by step of how to enter their room measurements onto the questionnaire. They can do that, and we show them how to sort of sketch out their room and take measurements in every possible way, and how to upload those directly into the questionnaire, into the network. And also we're asking for inspiration. They can upload images that they've seen, that Pinterest boards, house idea books, anything that's sort of inspiring them with their design. And so we get a lot of information. We don't even allow the consumer to launch the project until we've gotten a lot of information from them. And so once that questionnaire is done, we have 2 concepts that the designer starts to create. And what's super cool is we have this mood board creator, and our platform is what we call a 360-degree solution. So it's not just designing the space, but it's also prescribing the products that would go in the room. And of course, the backbone of our company and our existence is Furnitureland South, where we have 1,000 brands of the best furniture in the world. We're the biggest furniture store in the world and the furniture capital of the world. So we're able to actually sell those products to the consumer and do white glove delivery and finish the deal. So it's really from inspiration to installation. And whereas every other eDesign model that's out there is really more of an affiliate model, and so where I guess the control sort of stops after the room design, and then the consumer is responsible for going and purchasing their products that the designer recommends on other platforms. We have taken a democratic approach to this as well. We know that there's lots of product categories that we don't represent. Kitchen and bath fixtures and paint and things like that. And so we do incentivize, and we want our designers to select TDN products that they're recommending for the space. But they have the ability to go and select and upload images and web links and products from other platforms if they like to recommend those in the design. Just wind me up here, and I'll just there's a lot to talk about. Yes, the thing with the concepts are, every package has 2 concepts and like up to 3 revisions. So we have a messaging center on the platform. We have the consumer is able to approve of the concept. They're able to send back notes and things that they didn't like about the concept. And so we go back and forth and make changes and reviews until we kind of nail that design. And then the designer is responsible for their final deliverables, which is primarily a room plan, but it can also be a video and a 3D rendering. It's going to be a shopping list of products. And so it's, to me, at the end of the day, this is like an amazing service for consumers, because it is so hard for people to design their homes and their space. And I'm a huge believer in the need for a designer to help with that. I mean, designers are so experienced and just have knowledge about this, and that consumers just, they do it maybe once every 5 years or something, really designing a space. So this just makes it an easier process. There's some homework that the consumer has to do to get this information to the designer, but I'm starting to see our design community really embrace these tools, and it's been very rewarding to me, because one of the center pieces to this whole process is like this the mood board creator. And so we literally have designed and created our own so we could fully integrate all of our products and all of our fabrics and finishes and everything that we offer into the mood board creator. It's a simple drag and drop with tons of editing tools, and we've got all the Sherwin-Williams paint colors there. And it's just to see how designers right out of the gate are taking to this tool. They love the simplicity of it. And they don't, you can use this tool outside of like eDesign. So that's what we're seeing right now is a lot of designers are creating these mood boards. But I think it's the simplest, best tool that I've seen on the marketplace today. Our development team did a great job of building this tool. And there's some really creative ones that we're probably going to have some kind of a mood board contest here pretty soon.
Ooh.
I'm seeing some amazing mood boards that have been created already.
I'll jump in that one.
I know
mood boards are my favorite. And what I love about it, like you said, what's cool is you can upload photos. So I'm just redesigning a couple of kitchens. So I brought my kitchen designs in, and I finished the bar stools, the lighting. You guys have so much. No, you don't have faucets, but we can finish off the space. That's what that wow factor in a kitchen space can all be done through TDN products. So
exactly.
That's
and
what
so
I love.
If you are doing a kitchen or you're doing a bathroom or whatever, and you need to select fixtures from Kohler or wherever, you can easily just upload those images and even web links into the mood board and drag and scale and and manipulate those so that's all part of the canvas. And we're seeing that happening too.
Yes, so exciting. So get on the mood board and play. You'll be you'll lose hours of your life for sure. So that's great. That's a great overview. Thank you so much. We want to go over the benefits. We did at the last market, we did a panel of different interior designers, from celebrity interior designers, larger design firms, small design firms, solos. And we found that across the board, this eDesign fits in with pretty much every business model. So let's talk about the benefits of it a little bit.
Well, and that's the way we've designed it, is to fit into your model and what you're doing now. A lot of our designers are high-end designers, and they're taking on big projects. But one of the things I learned from our panel, which I hadn't really thought about, is even big-time interior designers that are doing these huge, 6 or 7 figure projects, like doing eDesign as well, because it keeps them in the game. It keeps them, doing things. And some designers that have grown in popularity that may have a staff, they can leverage, or their business has grown to where they have a staff. They can leverage eDesign as just another revenue generator and leverage sort of their popularity or whatever online and a lot of their work to bring that business in, and can maybe pass it off to someone else on their team that maybe
a junior designer,
junior to kind of, and they oversee that process. So we're seeing that, but so it's additional revenue opportunities. The way we've designed the financial aspect of this for designers is that you come in and you set your prices. We have a minimum of $199 for a package. Some are starting at $249 or $999, wherever fits for you. It's kind of a marketplace, so you want to you want to be in line with kind of the other designers, but there's a revenue split on that charge. So the designer takes 75% of the design fees, and TDN takes 25% of the fee. That's how we make money on the platform. And for all TDN products that you serve up and you recommend that the client buys, the designer is going to earn a 10% commission on that as well. And so and again, you can prescribe products from other platforms that you may have affiliate relationships with, and whatever that, or you can recommend maybe your own stuff that you sell. But we hope that we've given a very compelling and great reason why to select these products from our platform, because we're presenting the best products in the world at the best values, the best prices, with white glove delivery service. And I think it's an unprecedented for us 10% commission that you're able to earn as well. So you earn 75% of the design fee and 10% commission on the products.
That's great. That's so exciting. Um, what I love is Dixie and I were talking about it. We're really, really project stacked right now. So we love the ability to just toggle the availability off and on, because there are, you know, whatever, valleys, leaps, we go up and down in our businesses, right?
Yeah.
So it's great to have something where you could toggle on, maybe if you have a slow period, because you guys are, when you get really launch it out, you're going to be moving traffic to the site, right? So I think it's great to kind of level out our peaks and valleys of our businesses.
Sure.
And, we just had that conversation. Was it yesterday, Dixie?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Thank God we can toggle this on and off. This is amazing.
Because we were talking about the fact that I hadn't toggled mine on. I had it toggled off because last week for me personally was just an insane week, but I knew that yesterday I would have time to sit down and get all of my profile together, get the packages set up, and then I could toggle it on because I do have some availability. So just being able to, something happens, all you have to do is hop in there, just click a little button, it goes toggle it off, you're done. You can deal with whatever else you have going on and then turn it back on again. It's fabulous.
Yes.
So that's a great benefit. Great benefit. So
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just was going to say, there's, we're investing literally hundreds of thousands of dollars this fall into marketing, into producing content and pushing that out on the web. We've got a really fun campaign that we're an advertising campaign. So, we're spending a lot of money to drive traffic into this platform, really like we never have before, starting this fall. And so it's just by having a profile on the network, you're gaining tremendous exposure to the traffic and the consumers that we're driving to the platform. So in addition to the eDesign business, you may be discovered by a consumer that wants to work with you differently than our eDesign platform. So we're seeing a lot of those connections happening already, but will continue to happen as we ramp up the advertising.
Well, designers, Dixie and I focus on visibility for interior designers. So we know that marketing is one of the hardest things for us to do, to work in the business and market our businesses. So that's great that we have this platform. You guys have your team, and it's just a great marriage. We're so happy about it.
Thank you.
So what do you want to do, Megan? Do you want to do the how to sign up or next? Is that what you want to?
Yeah.
You want to flow with this?
Yeah, and that our plan was for me to pass the headset over. So.
All right. So I'm just gonna share my screen, and I'm just gonna go through and kind of show you what it looks like when you're setting your packages up and everything. Let's see.
Megan's become a visibility ninja in this process too.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We do, if this is the first time you're hopping on one of these webinars, we do have, this is the fifth or sixth in the series.
Mm-hmm.
We do have step-by-step how to start on the, she's going to quickly overview it, but we do have dedicated webinars to show you how to do each step of this process.
So when you sign into your profile, it's going to look like this. And in between public profile and loved, you're going to see this little eDesign button. So if you click on that, when you are setting up, referring back to what Dixie and Rachel were talking about with the toggle, here's the toggle where you turn it on or off. So if you're turning it on or off, make sure you scroll down and save the changes. Otherwise, it's not going to do it. So you can select how many years of experience you have. You can go all the way up to more than 10 years. And then you select the styles that you specialize in. So if you are only accepting for coastal so right now all of mine are selected. Let me go through. So for example, if you just want to say I'm only available for coastal or traditional, you can do that, or you can do all of them. That way you show up every time someone takes a style quiz, which I'm going to also show you the style quiz in a few minutes. And then you can select the maximum number of projects that you want to take on. It goes up to 10. And just make sure you're aware, if you do select 10, that you are agreeing. If 10 people come to you at the same time, you got to take on all 10 of those. And then here's the customer questionnaire that Jason was referring to. So as he said, we give you questions that we've already pre-selected, and then if you want to add a question, for example, do you have any pets or children? That's a good thing to know. You can just add that question and it automatically saves. You can also change the organization of them. So, yep, and you can delete them. So I changed my mind on that one. It's super simple. And then the packages. So here are the 3, you can have up to 3 packages. And again, you have toggles for each of those packages. You get to name your package and you get to give a description of your package. And then below are the deliverables. So each package has to have at least 2 design concepts, 3 revisions, and a shopping list. And then you have the option to add additional things to each package. And then here are the price, and I love this part. You select your price and then it tells you what you're going to make, referring back to that 75-25. So you don't have to do any math, it's already there for you.
So you can see how much you can like reverse engineer it, like how much do I need to bring home on this,
right?
And then price it accordingly,
right? And then it's the terms and conditions. So it kind of goes over everything, pricing, and then you just have to click that you read it, you click Save Changes. So that sets up your packages. I'm going to go to my profile just to kind of show you what the packages look like. Did that pop up? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the new profile for anybody who hasn't seen it, which looks fantastic.
Adorable.
And here on the right are the eDesign packages. So if someone is on your profile, they can go to View Packages and all of your packages will come up.
I love the different colors on that, and the fact that the least expensive one is kind of not as attractive visually.
Yeah.
It just kind of leads people to go, ooh, I like that. Give me more package.
You're like, you're going to hit the middle one for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go back. And then if you click on this tab, this eDesign tab, it's going to bring you to your projects. So any eDesign projects that you have or have started, it'll tell you if it's been launched, if it's complete. And so just to show you the difference of those 2 eDesign buttons, where they lead you. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the style quiz really quick, which anybody can take this if you're a designer and you want to take it just to kind of go through and see what it's like. So it'll just ask you to go through and select based on who you are, and then it'll ask you to select a room. So let's do bedroom, and then it's going to show you bedrooms, and it'll tell you at least 2 images to proceed. And then you'll select one more image, and it shows you your styles farmhouse with a hint of transitional, and then you can see your designer matches. And so this is where all of the designers will pop up. And
I love the profiles for the designers too. They're so attractive now.
Mm-hmm. They really are.
Really, really nice. I love it.
So you can view sample work. I picked Rachel here. You can view sample work. You can go to the full profile and continue to look at this. We have new options up here with your work, mood boards, which are now, you can see them. And I think this is this the one you were referring to, Rachel?
That one and another one. That's a small spaces, and there's another one as well. And one next to it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a kitchen I'm designing, and then I just did the finishing.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to show you also how to make your mood boards visible on your profile. I know a lot of designers have already done it, but I'm just going to go through so you can see. So now there is a button here for mood boards right after portfolio. If you click on that, you can import a mood board. So you can go through and choose any of your mood boards. Or if you're in the middle of doing a mood board, there's another way. let's just click. If you're in the middle of doing a mood board, where the share button is, you can display it on your profile. So there's two different ways you can do that. And that is pretty much how it's super simple how you set up eDesign and start accepting clients there.
I love it. So easy.
Basically, just making sure that you have all those projects uploaded, completed projects, things like that. That's what we kind of look for. Mood boards, looking at, you know, your skill of mood boards and how you do everything. Since eDesign is online, we really look at those mood boards to kind of.
I think it's a great way. So I went through this week and I beefed up mine, knowing that people were going to, like, you know, be looking at it and choosing me potentially. So I went and I beefed up my profile, but I started thinking about, what if you don't have, what if you're just starting out, you know, and you don't have a lot of portfolio work? I think the mood board tool, if you go in and play with that, is great. Just like I brought in a picture of a kitchen. A lot of times when we start with our friends and our family and our, you know, and they're not like the way we would really finish something because of budget, but you can still pull that project in and add, how would I finish that project if I had, you know, you can kind of show what your design aesthetic is through these mood boards, and, you know, using what you have existing, adding products from TDN. And I think there's a great opportunity to show what your design sensibility is. So definitely go in there and start using some of those tools. You want to kind of get familiar with it. So if you do get a client, you can be kind of quick and start, learning how to hunt for stuff. And
one of the things that we spend a lot of time on is the communication piece of this. So when we have a checkout flow for the package when it gets purchased, and we're notified that a package has been purchased, the designer is notified, and then there's a communication portal there for messaging within the platform. So anytime there's an event that happens, there's a message that's uploaded to the site, then they get an email that says, hey, you have a new message, and shows you what the message is. You can go right into the platform and continue it's like a chat box. You can chat back and forth in the communication. Anytime there's an action like, Rachel has just completed, the concepts. You have concepts to review, then a notification automatically goes out to the client, or your final deliverables have been sent. You get an automatic email notification. So it's really self-explanatory once you get into the platform and take a look at it. This messaging center where you can have dialogue back and forth. And another good part of having that on the platform is that it saves all that, so you can kind of look back, and if you need to have questions about what you talked about or whatever, it's all there.
Did we talk about a rug?
Yeah.
It's easy to find.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we have an example of the shopping list? What it looks like?
I can pull up.
Yeah, she can. We can pull it up for you.
Yeah.
We have now pulled up on the screen share a shopping list of TDN products. So what's cool is, as you're adding products to the mood board, those products are automatically saved in your TDN products for that project. And so they're really super easy to add to the shopping list. So as soon as you drag an item into a mood board, it's saved in your products. So then you can click and add the products along with variants. Particularly this fall, as we go deeper and deeper with our product selection, we're gonna have a lot more products, a lot more fabrics and finishes to choose. And so and another thing I wanted to mention here that we haven't talked about at all is we are integrating our outlet in a massive way, and so we're changing all of our processes. we actually sell between $1.5 million and $2 million worth of furniture physically out of our outlet. These are things that we buy as samples from the High Point Furniture Market. It's kind of a part of our grassroots and where we come from. We've never had these items online. It's because they come in and they sell off the floor almost immediately. But we buy major showrooms at market. We buy like the Henredon showroom and the Century showroom and Marge Carson and Wesley Hall and Huntington House, and so we're buying these things. It's a nice part of our business, but we've always just bought the products, retrieved them from market, put them on our outlet floor and sold them. But we're going to start a new process September 1 where we bring all of those items into our distribution center, and we're going to photograph these items like on a turntable and get some really great multiple angles, high definition photographs of this, and we'll have these integrated fully into the platform. The pricing on these things is untouchable. Nobody else in the world can offer the type of pricing that we can, because we're buying these as showroom samples. They're brand new, brand new products. But we're buying them at deep discounts because we're buying all the samples. And so it'll be on a first come, first served basis on those, but they'll be fully integrated into the site with beautiful photography, and you'll need to grab those and reserve them and drag them into the mood board. But all those products will be integrated in as well. What you're seeing here on the screen is the list of products that I guess Megan has made part, right?
Yeah,
made part of this.
Testing.
This is during testing, and so these are all the products, and then you can see she did not recommend any non-TDN products. Good job. But this is pretty cool, where you can upload, and if it is a non-TDN product, you have to do a little bit of work to grab the URL for that product online. You can also put in a price. You can put in what else? A quantity and any information about that item, and then those items would be here, and we'll have a total as well associated with those.
If a designer has a client that they're working with and they want to have a beautiful shopping list like this, does the client have to go through TDN, through the eDesign platform, and purchase services that way in order for the designer to be able to create a shopping list?
Or
like
can the designer
Mm-hmm.
Can the designer specify the product and export the list? Is that what you're?
Yeah, not currently. That's something we probably ought to look into. Yeah, you can save all the products into a project, and they're all listed, but not in a list form like this. Another new feature on the profiles is a video bio, and so we've seen a few designers now go in and sort of record a video and upload it. So that's right. It's right there on the sort of the background image, right next to the eDesign packages. It says, if it's Rachel's, it says "Meet Rachel," and it's a video. I want to encourage designers to create that video, because it really brings some life and personalization to it, and it's very visible. Not a lot of designers know that that's there yet, but that's accessible also in your CMS, your dashboard, to just to create that video. And you can just shoot it with your iPhone or do it more professionally. Just drag that file and drop it into the CMS, and it'll automatically appear on your profile.
We're kind of excited about that too.
I know. Video visibility, so exciting. We do want to talk about, Jason, best practices when we're communicating with our clients via video on your platform. I think it's important for if designers aren't used to using video. Video is, well, it's not even the next thing. It's here. It's here and now. So I'm so happy that you guys have integrated this into your platform. But there are some best practices that we should follow, obviously. Is it okay if I go through a couple of those, or do you have anything you want to say as a
Well, I'm all about video best practices, and we've learned a lot about it. I mean, we have our own studio now. Yes. We have our own video team. We're doing production all across the country now, and very professionally produced video. The real primary couple of things that are just so basic is you want to have the camera still, right? You want to have it either like on a tripod.
Right.
When it's moving around, it's instantly unprofessional. And tripods are like, you can get them for like $25. So
Yep.
want a camera on a tripod. And the other two things I would mention is some kind of lighting. You can get just a simple light to cast on you and make sure that you're lit well. And the third thing is sound, which is audio. You want to make sure that you have a little microphone, a lapel mic, or something other than like if it's your camera. You want to have some kind of microphone. And so, a still camera, decent lighting, and a microphone will make everything look so professional.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And Jason, just no, I have notes on it. I honestly do. Lighting is everything. Follow the light. If you don't have the professional lighting equipment or a ring light or anything, Dixie and I, you can see we're well lit. We follow the light. We film in front of big.
Follow the light.
Follow the light. Go to the light. I film in 2 spaces in my home. This area here is one. It's on brand for me. You want to also be on brand for your clients. So I'm one of those people that are known for color. So I like to have a lot of color saturation around me. So you want to be on brand as well. So
right.
Do that. The other place that I film is it's actually in my dining room, but it looks like an office. So don't, be careful for just mind your backgrounds. You don't want to have, a bed in back of you with a piled laundry and, you really, really want to curate your background before creating these videos for your clients. So they deserve a really, professional experience. It's all about the experience, and they want to feel like they're working with a professional. So mind your backgrounds, mind your lighting. And like you said, definitely the audio is so important. I think people don't realize they do know about the visual aspect, but Dixie has, what kind of microphone do you have, Dixie?
I have a blue snowball. Let me
She has the blue snowball.
It's actually white, but it's called a blue snowball.
Yeah. I like the headsets because they're noise canceling. So sometimes my daughter's at home and she's working on the computer or playing a game or watching YouTube next to me. Nobody can hear that as I'm talking into, I do a lot of video recording for my clients. So that's really, really important. And light, so I think that's it. Just, one of the things I did want to mention is I use these boards. It's just a cheat when I'm working on projects. So if you don't have a background that looks, like an office, you can also use your boards that you're working with. And, it looks like not looks like you're a professional. You are a professional designer, but definitely curate some of those backgrounds. I think it's important for the client experience.
And make it go with your brand.
With your brand.
If I was in
colors,
Rachel's room, it wouldn't fit with me and my brand at all.
Yeah.
We have a list of best practices that goes beyond just those fundamentals too, that I'll send you guys after our call. It's some really good stuff. It has a lot to do with the content and the way that you serve up the content as well, and some best practices there.
And are there any examples of the profile videos that you think are just fabulous that you want to recommend as here's a great one?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, anyone that's got the video?
If not, we can just find one and include the link.
Well, the one for Anne Marie Barton is a really good one because we produced it for her, like as an example, a while back, and that one's I think on her platform now. So go to Anne Marie Barton and check hers out. So that's sort of next level kind of stuff.
Yes.
But there's several good ones out there.
We're just so excited to go out there.
I know. We are so excited.
Yeah. And listen, we're like infants on this. So this is like our infant stage, and we kind of realize this, and so we really cherish like the feedback and just be candid and say, oh, I wish it could do this, or I wish it did that, or I wish it didn't do this or that. We always want to put the design community first in all the development that we're doing on the Design Network. And I think that you'll see that as you go through, and so we just want to continue to improve it. I think that now is a really good time for designers to go in and really polish up these profiles, create a profile video, experiment with some mood boards, and set up your eDesign packages. Even if they're not maybe perfect, just get them set up, and let's get one or two in there for you, and you can always change them, right? You can kind of edit it and change it. You can raise the price, lower the price. You can learn as you go, and that's kind of what we're doing as well. But we are ramping up the communication. We'll send our first consumer e-blast at the end of this week. That sort of we haven't even told anyone it's live yet, except for designers. And so we're going to send that first e-blast out. That'll go out to thousands of people at the end of this week. And we're doing some really creative advertising. So we have all the TDN TV content that's coming out this fall. Some amazing content, some very entertaining stuff that everybody will love to watch. But we're going to be wrapping that with a fun advertising campaign for eDesign directed towards consumers that really pokes a lot of fun at the way that consumers are currently making the mistakes and all the mistakes that they make when they try to design spaces themselves. And so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And I think a lot of consumers will be able to identify with the mistakes that they've made and why they need a professional. And we're toying around with some good ideas right now of just, this is almost like Match.com for consumers and designers, so I think we'll probably end up having some fun with that as well.
We'll swipe left on the
swipe left on the designers. Yeah.
I love it. I did want to note also, sometimes I forget how robust your site is, Jason. And when I was beefing up my portfolio and adding more photos, you can go in there and you can tag like products to previous photos that you've done and tag TDN products. So see, even, as you're bringing more and more consumers to the sites, you can be getting affiliate sales.
Right.
From tagging your old project photos, in addition to the eDesign projects. Obviously, we want the eDesign projects, but there's just so many layers to your. It's endless. It's amazing.
I was really excited to see that George Abbey pendant fixture because I used it in a project.
Yes,
actually the bigger version of it, and now I can just tag it on there. And
or just tag things that are like it. Like I was like, oh, I could have plugged this one in, and it would have the same look.
Yeah.
So love that.
Thanks.
Love. All the love.
Well, we love you guys, and y'all have been a big part of helping us grow this community of designers, as well as your experience with design and eDesign has helped us to shape and form this platform. And so it's been invaluable for us. The very first call that I made about eDesign was to Rachel, because I don't know how, but I saw your profile on the network and then went to your website and saw your eDesign. I'm like, wow, you really know what you're doing with eDesign. Let's talk. That's what kind of got us started about a year and a half ago. So we're grateful for the support.
Since. Cynthia Ryan says she loves that you're not telling us what to charge. So definitely want to note that. That's awesome.
That was an early on decision, and it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But we're finding that, designers, we want to enable you to do what's right for you and your business and not fit into that. And if a consumer likes you and they like your work, even if you're a little bit more than somebody else on the network, they're going to choose you because they like your work and they like your style and your personality. And so I think it's a cool feature, to not sort of peg it into a certain price. You need to be competitive probably among the other designers, but you need to do what's right for you and your business.
Sort of mirrors how we are actually, anyway.
Yeah.
There's no industry standard
right.
for how we price our so
right.
I think it's great. All right. I think we're there.
I think we are. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. This has been wonderful. We've really enjoyed it. We want to point out that there are 4 official other webinars and 1 other kind of unofficial showing you how to use the room styler. So you can check all of those out. The Design+Style YouTube channel has them. You can go there. And when we send you the link for this webinar, you'll be able to just go ahead and go straight over there and see all the other ones.
And then just mention your Facebook group one more time.
The Design Network Designer Community. Yeah. And we've had a lot of people trying to join that aren't members of our platform. So you have to join the Design Network first. You have to apply and be accepted as a member of the network before you're able to join the Facebook group. So the only people in this Facebook group are members of the TDN Trade program.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful. I'm going to go and play with more mood boards today.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can't wait to see them.
All right, you guys. Have a great day.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.